All right, welcome to another episode of your friendly neighborhood turd. We're gonna work on a few couple. Wait, is that a SUPRA? Take this on, see if I can get it running. Apparently we got some fried wires. I haven't even looked underneath the hood. Transmission was just rebuilt or gone through. I'm not exactly sure what, but I'm gonna finish installing that, hook up the drive shaft, and give her a good little look over, you know, let's see what we can figure out. It's not a turbo, but I can't help to think that it might be when we're all said and done with it. Can she be saved? What do you think? What are we going to call this thing? I mean, it's not my car. I don't want to name it for him, but she's got some personality, so... Either these Supras are pretty light, or I got some serious drivetrain drag in my T-Bird. That's a drive shaft bouncing around, if you can hear that. You ever flatbed a car without the drive shaft hooked up and no e-brake? It's a little skittish. All right, first look if I can get this hood open. No, try again. Give me the good stuff. I think that'll work. Okay, what do we got? I got vacuum line off here. I'm gonna guess that's PCV. All right, this poor thing, she needs some attention. All right, that damper is leaking pretty bad. We're missing intake manifold bolts, a bunch of them, like everything on the lower side, all of them. Dude, how did this thing even run? Or did it run? we got vacuum lines and hoses disconnected everywhere. Pressure regulator right there, that's bypassed or something, I don't know. Oh, the transmission is in cockeyed. Zoom, there it is. Big old gap. That trans is not flush up to the engine. So we'll have to get that going. We got an exhaust manifold stud there missing. Got another stud over here missing. And it's a straight header at that. There's no other exhaust. Sweet. I love it when there's nothing else in the way. I wonder if that header could be flipped around. Although it'd be backwards, it'd be shooting forward. This thing needs a turbo, you know? Really needs a turbo. I need to stop that fuel leak. You know what we don't want is right over here on this side, potentially, reality, fuel rail right over here, dripping fuel, starters right down there. So we need to get that addressed before we fire in the hole. Where can we go where you can watch me when this thing catches on fire? Turns out there's an actual jam nut down there. All you got to do is tighten that jam nut at the base of the regulator and it'll stop leaking. So that's cool. I still need to tighten that one down, but at least we should be good. You know, electrical stuff and little detailed stuff like this is really hard to video because it's so stinking boring. So let me see what I can do to get creative and make this work. Hang on. What is... look at that. Okay, that's cool. We got that one, another one here. So we're gonna get this bad boy squared away. It's gonna take some effort here, but I'm sure as heck gonna try. All right. I mean, this thing's had a lot of weird wiring stuff going on, so we're gonna look into all that, figure it out. Oh no, it's a wire nut. Okay, wire nut there. What is that? Okay. There we go. Okay, this is the skittish part. That's where I get nervous. So we're gonna leave just that guy kind of barely on there. This is our power lead going down to our starter. We're gonna leave that off for a second. Go Z, go! All right. Fire in the hole. What happens if we go here? Okay, no bang. God. Yeah, dude. This is the damn starter switch. Chase, come on, man. Anyway. So that's what kicks the starter. Okay, we got our fuel leak fixed. Turns out this damper did not have a crush gasket underneath it, which is stupid. Whatever, peeps, you know? What else did we do? We got all that crap hacked out of here that we don't need, except for this one stupid wire that goes down to the solenoid for the starter. We'll get that hashed out. Need to get these guys cleaned up. Need to get some new hoses on those. The O2 sensor, singular, was just kind of kicking it down in here, just laying there. So I can't believe that this thing hardly ran at all, but whatever. So we'll figure if that one's good later, throw a bung on the manifold. What else? Starting to sort through our vacuum lines again. They suck. And here's all the crap we pulled out of it. Yes, the screwdriver included. That was neatly tucked away underneath there. I love it when you find jewels like this. Is that even a good brand? Yeah, we're gonna pretend that's a good brand. Anyway, cruise control actuator, don't need that, and all of our supplemental electrical equipment there for top of the notch performance. Or maybe it was covering up the inabilities of prior mechanics. Anyway, we're gonna move underneath, start tearing some stuff apart down there, see what we find. More punishment. Man, this is so bad, guys. Now, call me sick, but this is the kind of crap that I enjoy, is figuring out what the hell the last guy was thinking. You know, we got cut wires here and splices everywhere and just junk. I found more red wires. Those were stuffed underneath the throttle pedal. Got a whole bunch of wires towards the center console. I mean, look at that. If that doesn't scream 1982, what does? Code Pro 1000. Sick. Oh, this bad boy is equipped. I've got a master cylinder that's completely dead. That does nothing. More wire underneath the floor mat. And you know, when it comes to doing this electrical crap, you don't necessarily need to know exactly what is what. I don't know what this little plug is. What does that go to? No clue. But what you want to do is be methodical when you go through this stuff. You know, first things first is what doesn't work. All right, obviously the starter circuit had some sort of an issue on this car because of that toggle switch. So, you know, we're going to reconnect our wires. You know, you're looking for wire colors. You're going to match wire colors. If they were cut, you'll splice them back together, pull all this extra junk out of here, whatever this stuff is, and just try to restore it back to how it originally was. All right, these guys, what are these? We've got two brown wires that go into two lighter brown wires, so that's obviously something different. That looks like a valet switch is probably what that was for the old alarm. But we're going to remove all that crap because I'm sure it doesn't work. And on that alarm processor, we'll reconnect all the original color wires that were obviously cut. Probably had an ignition cut or a fuel cut on it. Maybe even a starter disabled. That's probably why the starter didn't work. So I'm going to restore all those wires, connect everything back together, cut out all of this junk, And that'll give us a good baseline to troubleshoot further if we need to. Then we'll have factory schematics that we can pull up on Google, and we can trace out wires if we need to there. This kind of stuff does take a ton of time. So again, it's kind of hard to document. I'm not just going to leave the camera on here for 20 hours worth of messing around, so I'll just give you the few clips here and there of the exciting stuff. Another good one. This is the kind of stuff that will kick your butt. I'm guessing that was a ground wire to what? I don't know, but just wrapped around and twisted. That's so beautiful. That is one of the most beautiful wrap and twist jobs I've ever seen. He even split the wires evenly and did it twice the opposite way. Whoa, no way. That's a work of art, my friends. And again, there's no way. What was this guy smoking? All right, I think that's our PCM. I was trying to chase down these wires for the alarm. I got to rip those out of there. Look at those wires on the PCM. Same thing. They're all freaking. This is amazing, guys. What do we do with this? I'm speechless. I've never seen it this bad on a freaking PCM. I guess we just fix it, right? That's all we got to do is just fix it. Piece of cake. My God, this is like the finest microsurgery of wiring that I've ever seen done. Look at those twists. Look at how perfect that is. This guy was like a heart surgeon. Look at that. Do you see that? I couldn't do that like on my best day. That's beautiful. Another one back here. I'm sorry, buddy. I got to undo all your hard work here, but that's definitely something to admire. Okay, how to test a starter. This one looks fairly new, but we're going to check it just to be sure. I'm using a battery charger. You can do the same with a battery and jumper cables. Any sort of 12-volt electrical source will get this done. Ground would be the chassis, the frame. Anywhere to bare metal would be your negative. Positive is going to go on the large terminal. And what we got to do to kick this thing off is touch power basically from here to here. That's the equivalent to your ignition switch. So power would come out here up to your ignition switch. It would go through it when you hit start. Power would go in there. Starter should kick on. So need to do this with two hands, because if these things go, they go. I think that might be good, considering, even though it's doing that chattering, because I'm using a battery charger. So I think the starter is good. And here's all the crap we've pulled out of this car so far. That's worth like an extra equivalent 100 horsepower right there in weight. It's also worth what, probably 20 bucks. Yeah, we might apply that towards something else we need here. A little better view of what we're dealing with the transmission. Look at that gap there. I just noticed that this is broken off right here. I don't know if that was for an alignment dowel. We're gonna pull this transmission and see what we got. Alright, so we got some really good progress today on this bad boy. Root cause was the pilot bearing and the crankshaft. I'm going to guess when that transmission was going in, they didn't quite get it aligned straight, and it cocked that pilot bearing in there and smashed it all up. Get a new pilot bearing for it. The clutch is fine, so that can go back in without a problem. Still need to finish up cleaning up the wiring. Might need a slave cylinder. Seems like that one's seized up, or maybe it's just out of fluid. So far, so good. It looks like it's going to be a pretty easy fix. We have it torn down. We have, for the most part, everything diagnosed. Know what needs to be done. Now we need to gather a few parts, start patching her back together. Turns out this car has quite a bit of personality. It already has a name. Apparently it spent some time in Guatemala, Mexico, or something like that, and was a known cartel vehicle, and was involved in some bank heists and whatnot. Ended up crossing the border into California. Spent some time in SoCal for a while, and eventually it ended up in the Midwest down in Missouri, and now it's here in Omaha. So, but it already has a name. What do you think it ought to be?